Good evening, Midlands African Chamber. Welcome to the 2024 new edition of the Power Hour, brought to you by our champion supporter, Wells Fargo Bank. We thank you. We welcome you to 2024. I am your host, back again. I am Shay Ololafe. This is going to be a phenomenal year. If you've not started this year already, this is going to be a phenomenal year for business, for growing, scaling your businesses. And what we do here at the Midlands African Chamber is we empower, we champion, and we connect. And without any further ado, we're going to start this year off with one of our huge champion supporters, Daryk Pengelly with Walmart Business, because if you know anything about doing business, it's about doing business right. And we're going to start 2024 off about doing business right with having vendors and contractors that you know you can trust in order so you can focus on your main goal. Daryk, welcome, my friend, to Power Hour.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
We really appreciate you kicking us off this year with our Power Hour, where we like to impart social capital on our members and just the broad community in general. But before we begin, I guess I just got to jump right in and ask you, what makes you the expert on business?
I've been in business for quite some time. It started with, I graduated from Harvard. I got my undergraduate degree in social studies, multidisciplinary concentration, as they call them there, around, whether it's government, political science, sociology, economics. And so, started sort of learning about, society and politics, and then transitioned, did a couple of jobs. I worked at a hedge fund for a little bit on the financial services side. Also did consulting in the healthcare space in New York, and ended up going to a startup company under the Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Group umbrella. And so helped start and build a company in the health and wellness software as a service space for a little under 5 years. It originally started in South Africa, then it moved to the UK, and then it moved to the US. And I came on board and did a combination of business development and account management and operations for that group, and just grew the business over a 5-year stretch, and then ended up going to MIT Sloan School of Management to get my master's in business administration. And following that, ended up at Walmart, did a stretch of brand strategy at Reebok, and then got pulled back into Walmart, great company, and so have done a number of things here. And so just going through that whole sort of background, just to say, have seen small organizations grow from inception to scale, and that company is still a going concern that I was working for back in the early 2000s. I've worked as a service provider, right? So in consulting and financial services, and I have also seen what it's like to be within a large, the largest company in the world, Walmart. And, both as obviously a big organization, but an organization that supports innovation, within the organization. And so you'll see little pockets of innovation, whether it's, when we launched an e-commerce business, and which was based in California, that moved, to Hoboken, and now more centrally located here in Bentonville, to, different innovation engines around health and wellness. I've done that business here. Or what I'm doing now, which is Walmart Business, which is effectively a startup within a large organization. So I consider myself an entrepreneur. And our small business unit is basically tasked with serving small and medium-sized businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government. And so, yes, everyone knows Walmart. We span, the entire globe, and have 4,600 or so stores in the U.S. plus additional stores outside of the U.S. But within that, it's a sort of consumer focused business. So within that, we've now created this new engine to specifically support organizations in their product and service needs. And so I have a lot of experience ranging from small organization to large organizations, and I think that sort of informs the value that I add, within the marketing group, marketing and membership group within Walmart Business.
And I think you really hit it on the head with not only your education. I mean, you're a Harvard grad. There's no Harvard than MIT, mind you. But then you also have the experience backing that up, and your experience is not solely a matter of big business, but rather the businesses that focus on mom and pops, the solo entrepreneurs or the medium-sized businesses. And so you're able to speak to all demographics.
Exactly. And, I come from humble beginnings. My family, my parents are both, immigrants from Jamaica and, grew up in Miami, Florida. And so, got to see, a lot of, especially in the community I grew up in, there's a lot of folks that start their own businesses, ranging from restaurants to salons to, different things. And so, I have a special place in my heart for sort of supporting, organizations and folks that want to sort of, be independent. And so I'm enjoying sort of being in this role where I get to, leverage the scale and reach of Walmart to help, bring those resources to bear in a new way, effectively repackaging, things that Walmart, that Walmart for, in a way that, services organizations more directly. And something we can get into a little bit later as part of our platform, at business.walmart.com, which is a separate internet presence, separate from walmart.com. So again, it's business.walmart.com. We also have a content repository. So that enables, and we'll go through this in more detail, but, by going to our site, it's not just buy products, right? It's, I want to learn about what are the best products for me as a medical practice, or as I'm in the hospitality space, right? So we have dedicated pages for these different industry segments and information and content to help you find the resources you need as a small organization to help you grow, and connect you to other things within Walmart too, other resources that we have that might be helpful for organizations.
And I want to also touch on the standpoint of, we're not just talking about for-profit businesses, correct? We're also talking about an understanding that this also applies to nonprofits.
Absolutely. So, that's part of our mission statement, and we speak to both, for-profit and nonprofit businesses and organizations. In fact, we have a lot of organizations that have been using our services, to buy things in larger quantities, to serve, their different constituents as nonprofits if they're serving their communities and so forth. And so we have lots of examples of that. And we have things like tax exempt status, so you can apply for that, and that'll enable both online and in stores. And so we have those capabilities for nonprofit organizations. So we specifically have folks internally that focus on nonprofits. And also, we're connected to our foundation, which has a lot of resources for nonprofit organizations as well, whether it's Spark Good, being part of a registry that's accessible through Walmart's site, where you can get listed as a nonprofit, where folks can find you, right, where you're located, and donate to your organization. And so we're connected with our own foundation within Walmart, and we serve, nonprofits just via our platform from a product and services standpoint.
Fantastic. Well, I know we can dive in much deeper to the history of yourself and how you got to where you got, but let's go ahead and pull up the slide deck and really get started into what is Walmart Business. All right.
Well, if you can click through, the first one is just more about me. I guess I talked a little bit about this. So again, I'm currently the director of marketing and membership at Walmart Business. And what that means is, we have a membership program, which I'll go into in more detail. So I don't want to describe too much there, but effectively, I run that program around, what's the value proposition of our membership program? What sort of benefits are we offering? And how do we engage with the community to bring those benefits to bear? Also just generally, marketing activity, within Walmart business. And again, I've had experience, here in retail, in marketing, business development, startups, health and wellness, technology and finance across a number of organizations. And yeah, I think, for me personally, that's my work persona, outside of work, I have 3 young kids, and I live here in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is where Walmart is based. I enjoy DJing on the side, so you'll see, maybe you'll see me pop up in your city at some point. And yeah, I have a dog.
What's the DJ name? What's the DJ name?
DJ DP.
Okay. Now, I hear the next time we have a pitch black in a gala coming on, that we might have a DJ in our presence that may come up and spin on the 1s and 2s.
There you go. I'm a Libra, so I like balance in my life.
And then you also said you have a puppy.
Well, he's not quite a puppy. He's older than all of my kids. I think he was good. He was good training for my kids. So he's about 10 now. My kids are 9, 7, and 4. So he's the OG in the house. Okay. He's our little protector.
All need that balance in life, and that is, if you know anything about 2024 in business, it's about having that well-being and balance. And it sounds like you, my friend, have both the corporate and then also the home life, and that's balanced.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
All right, so we can go on. So Walmart Business, what do we do? Effectively, we're trying to be a trusted partner, right, to the organizations we serve, right? We Walmart's in every community within the U.S., and we feel like we have an obligation to serve, not only the individuals and families, but the organizations as well. And so we believe that in doing so, we'll create a stronger economy, more resilient communities if we help, organizations thrive, right? Yes, we're a large organization, but we do support mom and pops. And other small organizations, both for-profit and nonprofit, in a range of ways. And our purpose is effectively to save businesses, nonprofits, and governments time, money, and hassle. You'll hear that theme, come up, over and over again. We want, if you're running an organization, we want you to focus on your mission. We don't want that organization to spend all of its time, worrying about all of the administrative tasks that are necessary to keep the organization running. You have to do those things, and it's not to diminish the work of the folks doing that. But ultimately, we want to figure out ways to, again, use our scale to help, along those 3 dimensions, so that organizations can focus on the things that they're tasked to do. Next slide. And so again, if I were to break down our customer value proposition into 3 simple bullets, and this will I'll sort of expand on this a little bit with the different products and services that we offer. One, when we talk about saving money and simplifying, business purchasing, Walmart is known for EDLP, which stands for everyday low pricing. And this has been a hallmark of Walmart historically for decades, ensuring that, by offering lower prices, we help our customers live better, right? Because you can afford the things that you need to survive. And so we carry that theme forward in serving organizations. And we just want to make it easier to purchase things, right? And that comes in a lot of different forms. Secondly, we want you to stay in control and stay in stock, right? So making sure that we have the products that you need, and we don't, we're not out of stock. We want you to stay in control. So we have different features, which I'll go into around, understanding what your spend looks like, right? So looking at on a monthly basis, right? Budgeting is important. Managing your P&L as an organization is important. And so having an understanding of how you're spending across different categories and will help you sort of get visibility to how you're spending your money and making sure that you don't run out of the things that you need to operate your business. And then finally, creating efficiencies to operate and grow, right? And so that comes in a lot of different forms. And the way that I like to describe it is we have a combination of retail and non-retail benefits, right? Retail is everything you would expect from Walmart, right? If it's easy for you to find what you need online and order it and go pick it up at a store or get it delivered to your home from one of our fulfillment centers or from a nearby store, that's efficiency, right? But there's also, well, if we can provide you services through one of our partners that helps you with marketing, or it helps you with invoicing, or it helps you with remote work or compliance. These are things where we can help you actually operate your organization better, whether it's for profit or nonprofit. And we want to bring those things to bear, specifically for organizations. So I'll pause there to see if there are any questions, and then I can.
There is, and I think this starts off with not sure we're going to get to this, or this is part of Walmart business, but does Walmart business support the Walmart supplier diversity program? As in, you just mentioned setting people up with particular other partners or vendors in the program. So if, for instance, let's just say hypothetically, I have my law firm and I want to offer some sort of a program for Walmart business members. Is there an avenue for which somebody could get into there? Or I think the other question was, do you offer guidance on how small businesses, especially minority-owned businesses, can register to do business with Walmart under supplier diversity program?
Two great questions. And so I'll say, I get these questions a lot, and they're good questions, and I'll answer it in two parts. So the first part is, if you wanted to, if you had a service and you wanted to offer that to members of Walmart business, right? You would talk to me. So I run the membership program, and so we have what we call a limited time. So this is one avenue, right, that I'll describe. We have what we call a limited time offer center, right? And what that is it's a member benefit. It's a benefit for, if you pay the $98 a year, which you'll see in a couple of slides, to be a member of our program. Basically, that gives you access to additional features beyond our free offering. And what we've done is we have a number of partners, which are other companies that are offering services that members can access through our platform if they're paid members. And so basically, we would have a conversation. We would sort of determine, is this something that our customer base of organizations would value? And whether it's law services, or it could be marketing services, or it could be social media marketing help and support and consulting. There are a range of things that could be within the realm of things that organizations would need. I'm just throwing out some random examples. You could potentially come in that route. The other route is not as directly connected to Walmart business specifically, which is effectively just an offering for organizations. We also have other groups within Walmart. We have a supplier diversity, supplier inclusion program. We have, which is connected to, the products that you see on the shelf today, right? And so, as you can imagine, at Walmart, there's a broad mix of things on the shelves, right? We offer everything, a lot of different products, pretty broad assortment. And so if you want it to be a brand on the shelf, right, there's different avenues. You go through the merchandising organization to become a new brand on the shelf. And there's, you mentioned specifically supplier diversity. And so there's a group within Walmart that does that. And then you have things like Open Call, right, which is a program where every year is roughly 5,000 people may have applied for it this year, if I remember correctly. And that's publicly available if you search Walmart Open Call on our site. And that's a program where, Walmart has made a commitment to invest, over $300 billion over a number of years in U.S. made products. And so there's a competition every year, pitch competition, if you will, where, through a number of stages, there's a tour, you go to different cities just to tell people about the program. And then it culminates in a pitch competition here in Bentonville at our home office. And I think somewhere between 500 and 1,000 businesses made it to the final round. And then ultimately, I think maybe 150 or so, 120 to 150 ended up becoming new products on the shelf. And these are small, relatively small businesses. And so that's another avenue. And then the final one that I'll talk through is in terms of, I've heard stories. We actually had an event down in Orlando recently that I was involved in leading as part of our marketing and business development efforts back in September. And, it was at a hotel in a conference room, and we had a number of people. A local TV personality was one of the panelists. We had a woman who owns a cookie company that spoke, and we had someone from a local chamber of commerce come and talk about, opportunities and challenges and pain points, for organizations locally. And there were some folks there who are actually, have businesses where they contract out to Walmart. And so whether it's, janitorial services, things that, serve varying service providers that serve our stores, that's another avenue where you can serve Walmart. And so so I say all that to say, there's an avenue where you can come in and be, one of our member benefits. And then there's another group of opportunities that are connected to other parts of Walmart where you can either be a brand on the shelf, or you can or be a service provider, right? You mentioned just procurement contracts. And so, there's lots of opportunities. And one of the things that Walmart Business will do through our content hub, which I'll talk a little bit more about, and we can potentially get it on the screen, is, just providing information on how do you navigate all of these opportunities within Walmart. Uh-huh. And we're already doing different things on that content hub to provide that information. Because sometimes it's just, how do I just find the information that just tells me who do I contact? What do I need to know? Am I ready yet? Right. A lot of it is, like I'll use a brand example. You may not be ready yet, and that's fine. And we will give you the information to let you know these are the things you need. And then you can at least know that, okay, I'm not there yet, but I know how to get there. So
there we go. And I think that's half the battle, right? It's half the battle of the know-how. And that's why we do the Power Hour, is to be able to impart social capital. But if I understand you correctly, you have a knowledge hub on the website for Walmart Business Walmart.
We do. And so I'll say it just so you can reference it, but it's business.walmart.com/learn more. So if you go there, it's effectively a content repository where you'll see a number of articles on different things. Some, for example, there's an article related to veteran-owned businesses, or there's an article related to, here are some things you should think about at the beginning of your year, or if you're budgeting, here's some things to think about. Here's a more comprehensive description of, what benefits we have as part of our, Walmart Business membership program, and what offers are available from what vendors, and why do these benefits make sense for you? And so there's a range of articles on different topics, but you'll see more articles show up on that page. Again, some of those will help navigate you to other things, within Walmart. And so, and as you can see, I know there was a question earlier about nonprofits. As you can see, that's sort of one of the tags for content that would be more relevant for nonprofits.
So, and again, we have this on the screen right now, this is where we get the information to be partners, to be small businesses, and to learn more about Walmart Business. And this is all knowledge. And this is, I want to hear my favorite word. How much does it cost to get this knowledge?
Well, here's the thing. You're looking at it and you didn't have to pay anything. So there's some of it which is available for all, but that said, one of the things where you'll notice that there's certain things that are available for members, right? And right now it's a nominal cost, if I'm honest, right? It's $98 a year, and that gives you access to free shipping, no minimums. It gives you access to, if you're ordering something and and I don't want to misquote this, but I think it's 90% of the population is within, 10 miles of a Walmart, right? And so it allows you to get things shipped from one of the local stores, which means you can get it really quickly. And I've tested this myself, and it's not completely fair because I live in Bentonville near to the home office, but the point is, if you wanted something in 30 minutes, you can get that if you're near a store. And so the point is, as a member, you don't have to pay as many shipping fees on things, or another benefit is you get 2% back on purchases of $250 or more, cash back, not cash back, but rewards back in your account that you can then use to spend on our site for future purchases. And so you get additional benefits, but that said, we have a lot of things that are available, without paying.
Okay. So you didn't say my favorite word, which starts with F, but
I said without paying, which is close.
But still, at the end of the day, this knowledge is free, and you can get information on whether it's to support your small business or, better yet, become a partner of Walmart. It's free. That information is FREE, free. Okay, so let's pull this back up. Let's keep this moving because we only got an hour. So on our next slide we have history.
And so here just a little bit of the history. And so I just wanted to emphasize that yes, this is Walmart, and yes, Walmart's been around for decades, and yes, it's a large organization that spans continents. That said, what we are doing for businesses, and it was timely that we started talking about the content repository, the content hub, specifically tailored to organizations first, because that is a feature that that was created to specifically serve organizations, right? And so we just started doing this. We all consider ourselves intrapreneurs. We just started doing this. We launched publicly to the market in the beginning of 2023, right?
Oh.
And so it's a relatively new, within Walmart terms, we're a startup, and
you're in infancy.
We're in infancy. And so it's exciting as someone working within the organization, but also it just means we're growing with our customer and member base. And so we listen to feedback on our site. We listen to feedback when folks call our customer care line, and we take that into consideration as we're building the future of what this is going to be. And so I put this here just to say that we are new, and we are listening, and we're trying to serve the specific needs and pain points of the organizations that we serve.
Fantastic.
And so again, I talked a little bit about this, but we want to, again, help organizations save time, save money, and save hassle. Again, we have this idea of, if you can set up a subscription service or auto reorder of things that you buy frequently, right? That's a feature of our site. And I'll talk a little bit more about this. That's something that would save you time. Or auto reorder, right? You've probably had this experience. You buy the same things often. Maybe you make changes. You don't want necessarily a subscription, but you want to see the items that you just ordered and take things off and put a couple things back on, and that'll sort of save you time, as you're doing, basic procurement for your organization. And we make that easy. I'll give you another example. We have services, right? So there are things on our site where you don't want to install the TV, or you don't want to, you have, network support needs for your tech, right? For your small office. And we have a service provider, and we've created a user experience on our site, which is an important component of saving time. Is you can have a feature, but is it easy for an organization to navigate that on your site, right? And so we put a lot of thought into how things show up, how we talk about things, how we bundle things together on our site to make it actually easy to save you time. Saving money, again, everyday low prices, that's consistent with the rest of Walmart, and just hassle, right? So, having the different things that help you improve your productivity. So let's dive into, I think the next slide kind of talks through, what is actually included. So we popped this on the screen already, I believe. And we can go back to this after we go through the features. So maybe we can click around and you can see where things are. But as you can see, the layout is different than our main website, and it's more tailored to organizations. And that includes, and as you can see, the first, we call it the hero POV. It's stock up for school, right? So schools is, or if you're a private daycare, or these are all organizations too. And so we've created different landing pages and experiences that speak to different audiences to, again, save you time. You're a school, you're a daycare. Here are the things that you're probably going to want. And we have a site merchandising team that has actually put things and organize things. We call it a taxonomy for the site in a way that makes it easy for you to navigate the site. And that's not just throwing all the products on the shelf. It's not like just, going to a store. We try to organize things in a way that makes sense, whether you're a facility, whether you're a medical office, you're a law office, you're a school, a small organization, medium-sized organization. You'll see different experiences throughout our site. And then you'll also notice here, I'll just call it out since you can see it, services in the top banner next to departments. We offer tech support and repair. We offer auto services, right? So you think you can actually go, if you have a fleet, you do real estate, right? Or and you have a group that works with you, or you're in construction, right? And you have Walmarts near you. We actually have services at the store. And so we make it easy for you to make appointments, find the services that you need for your business vehicles, and get those through our site. Then you also have protection plans on the products that you purchase, and then installation and assembly, right? Which ranges from, I want to put a TV on the wall, to I want a service to come and clean my office, right? So there's a lot of different service providers that are connected through that part of our platform as well. So it's products and it's services, and it's organized in a way to speak directly to organizations. And so what you'll see is the next couple slides basically break our program into two buckets. So the first is free. I know you like the word free. I'll start with that. Free verified account, and I'll explain what that means. So there's a lot more on this page than on the next page. But the point is, there's a lot that you can get, and you can go on right now. You can go to business.walmart.com, create a free verified account as an organization, and you can get access to all the things that I'll talk through in a second. And I say verified, and this is important because in order for us to serve organizations, we want to make sure that you are actually an organization, right? Because that's the way our site's organized, that the services that we provide, the partners that we work with, they're providing services to organizations. So it doesn't make sense if you're just an individual purchasing for yourself or for your family. You might as well just go to walmart.com, right? It's a very customized experience. And so that means even if you create an account, you have your email, you have your name, your organization name, you have to provide your EIN number just for verification purposes. And there's a few other bits of information that we'll collect up front, but that's it. Then you're a legitimate organization, you get verified, and then you get access to our platform, and that costs you nothing. And so what that means is, and I addressed a couple of these bullets already, but the taxonomy, the site experience is tailored to organizations, and how the products are organized, and what services we provide, and obviously the content that we provide that helps you navigate your pain points and challenges as an organization.
Sorry,
well, I'll pause for a second. I don't know if there are questions.
Yeah, no, quickly, I wanted to make sure that because your verification, you're asking for EIN, but some sole proprietors don't use an EIN. Right. So is that going to be an issue with getting a verified account?
No. So there's a checkbox to sort of highlight that you're a sole proprietor, and what you end up using in that case is, I believe, your social serves as your EIN effectively as a sole proprietor. And so there's a way to designate that in the experience.
Okay.
And it allows you to separate, because one of the features is, I think ultimately, we'll end up getting folks who are smaller organizations. We expect that. We have that. Some of the things that we provide are probably more relevant if you have an office, if you have, right? So some of the things are going to be more relevant for larger organizations, but that doesn't mean we shut the door to smaller orgs.
Okay. And so signing up is, again, my favorite word, free. And in doing so, that just allows you to have an account to get access to the offerings.
Correct.
Of what we've been talking about. Now, I'm going to save one of these questions for last. Now, if I know this tax season, and to my chagrin, I got to pay Uncle Sam what he is due. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and so I'm also shipping out 1099s, and so does that automatically kick in? If I'm a member and I've been using your platform, will all of the transactions I've done be in one central place so that my 1099 reconciles with what I spend with Walmart Business?
You'll be able to see your transaction history, your spend history, and it's, there's a feature that allows you to kind of see your spend. Right. It also enables you to set limits. Right. So some of these features, are, within the paid membership. Right. So there's going to be levels of analytics, but the basic sort of transaction history is available to all. And so you'll be able to see what you've spent, and it should reconcile. You'll get there. We call them smart comms. And so you'll get these automated sort of communications when you make purchases, but also you can view that through the spend analytics feature on the site.
So I'm gonna throw this one at you. This is gonna be a little bit of curveball because I own my own law firm, and I've been purchasing from a competitor of yours.
That's fine.
And generally though, it's been because I already had the account, right? I've already had in the personal account, and what I found was that your competitor is trying to, switch me over to a business account. And I guess the question I have for you is, what makes Walmart Business different than that competitor for the name I will not mention?
Oh, you said curveball. That's an easy one.
Okay,
that's easy. Well, the first and foremost is, one of the big insights, and I've been here. I was here, I left, I came back. So I've been here long enough to kind of see this come to fruition. But this idea of picking up from the store, right? That's sort of, the easy, one of the ways. And this is convenient, right? So we offer a broad assortment of food, right? And whether you're stocking up for your break room, right? Whether it's a holiday party, things like that. There's a flexibility of ordering online and picking it up at the store, right? If you want to do that, you might be going there for other things. And there was a time when everyone thought that everyone would just want everything shipped to their home or office. And that's not really the case, right? Having the flexibility to get something on your way home or on your way to your office is something that people do, right? And so having, almost 5,000 stores across the US enables us to do that. And it's a mix of, so that's one, right? The proximity to stores. You can pick up, but you can also get it delivered from a store, which means it actually gets to you faster than alternative solutions, because there are folks who are Uber drivers or Lyft drivers or whatever who might be also, we have what we call a Spark driver network. And so these are folks who are going to the stores and picking things and then bringing them to you. And so So basically, there's this opportunity to get things a lot faster because of our store network. So that's one. The other thing is you can have a mix, right? So because of our broad assortment of food, you can now combine that with your TV order and your, so you can do because of the stores and because of our grocery business, you can combine general merchandise with food and get more of what you need and fewer orders, which ultimately saves you time and hassle. So those are just a couple examples. I think we're embedded in the community in a different way, right? So if you think about our stores, we all have, each store has sort of a presence and connected to our foundation. There's a lot of local giving to local nonprofits that are connected to all of our stores and all of these communities. And so I think, being a part of that network, again, allows for, back to the earlier question, connection with, what our foundation is doing or what, Open Call is doing or what these different parts of, or what might be happening near a store connected to that community specifically. And we can get plugged into all of that. So hopefully that answers the question. I mean, I think we're competitive from a price standpoint, right? With everyday low prices. We have a broad range of services. And then there's opportunities to invest in organizations in different ways. And I'll just, again, go back to that, Open Call example where that's a form of investment, right? So to speak, where we're providing knowledge and information and access to distribution of your product. If you so choose to go that route.
Fantastic. That did answer my question. So last but not least.
Yeah. And actually, if we can just go back for one, I just want to make sure I cover off. There's an important point here just around, you mentioned there's sort of a difference between, again, shopping at Walmart.com, and we're all, part of the same organization. But, if you're one person, you're shopping for yourself or your family, it's one thing. But if you're an organization and you mentioned sole proprietors, you have 5 people in your organization, you can add them to your account, right? So that's one of the features of Walmart Business. And you can do that as a free account holder, right? You don't have to pay for that. And that means you can have multiple people on your account, right? You're the head of your org, but you have someone who's in charge of procurement, purchasing, and your office manager, whatever. That person, you can then sort of say, you can set limits on spend. If hey, this month we only want to spend $1,000 on, purchasing things for the break room and the lobby or what have you, you can set that limit. And you can monitor spend and you can see the analytics of that spend. And so anyway, so the ability to add users is a feature of the program. Tax exempt purchasing, we already covered that. Another important one is the ability to order in large quantities, right? And so this is not necessarily, let me frame it this way. There's certain products, and we actually have a page where you can see a number of products where you can just order larger quantities of those products. And so that's a feature of signing up for Walmart Business. We talked about subscriptions, the ability to purchase online and in store. We have an app, we have Walmart Pay. So there's a way for you to not only transact online, but also just go into a store, which is another benefit of Walmart Business. Another important one, and then we can go on, because I already talked about the last bullet with services, is supplier offered rewards. And so we've partnered with an organization called Ibotta, which is effectively digital coupon clipping. And so we're offering supplier offered rewards. So what that means is you'll be on the site and you'll notice that there are opportunities to, and these are provided by suppliers, manufacturers, where you'll see discounts on certain products, right? And so it's just another opportunity to save. And so I just wanted to call that out. That's part of our free verified account.
Before we move on, I do have a quick question, and I think it is a matter of, does Walmart Business? I mean, this is all about B2B, right? And I think one of the major costs that most businesses are incurring is the credit card and the debit card transaction fees. Mm-hmm. And so, is there a service or service provider on Walmart Business that helps in that realm?
On transaction fees.
Oh yeah, the credit card processings, or even the debit card or check processing. Is there anything on Walmart Business at this point in time for processing debit, credit cards, or e-checks?
No, just like in terms of a benefit, no. And I know this is it's not directly answering your question, but it's related. So the short answer is no, and I'm going to double check that I believe that's the right answer. I think the other one of the benefits we have, and I guess this is actually a good segue to the next. If you go to the next slide, we have these things, and I'll just jump to the last bullet. Well, the second to last. Sorry, the third the middle bullet. Limited time offers with partners offering valuable services for organizations. One of them is Square. And so if you did, if you're invoicing, so you said did you say you run a law firm, right?
I try. I'll put it that way. I try to run a law firm.
And so maybe not so much for a law firm, maybe it would work, but for invoicing, right? So if you wanted to use Square, maybe it works better. Maybe this is more for retail or brands, service providers. But anyway, we have a partnership with Square where, for your first, $3,000 in invoicing, if you sign up for Square Invoices, you don't have to pay any transaction fees on those at all. So that's sort of a spin on what you were asking, not directly answering your question, but it's just a service that's available to members. If you were looking for a provider to help you with your invoicing for your own customers as an organization, we give you a little bit of relief on having to pay transaction fees up to that amount.
And is that amount per month, or is that like a one-time?
That's just a one-time thing. For your first 3,000 in invoices, you don't have to worry about transaction fees. So it may be small, but it's something. One of the benefits of being a member.
For those who are looking to start their business and don't necessarily have the ability to take on that cost of those transactions, it makes complete sense. If I can save, the transaction fee on $3,000, given particular percentage of how much you're taking anyways, money's money.
Money's money. And I want to highlight something, because this comes up quite a bit, because, I always stress that, people look at the cost of things, but there's two sides to that equation, right? Like, what are you actually getting in return? What sort of value and benefit are you getting in return? And so free is great, right? I'm not going to argue with you on that, but I will say that if you have to pay $98, if I told you that you were getting $1,000 of value, then you would say that's a good return on my investment, right? And so I just want to be clear, that was a random arbitrary number that I threw out. I don't want to. I will say this: if we're investing this $98, you are getting more than $98 of value. That is a fact. And there's some assumptions around that in terms of like how much are you ordering, because you're getting free shipping, no minimums, right? If it's coming from one of our fulfillment centers, which is the first bullet. You're also getting free pickup or delivery from a store if you hit a $35 minimum. And if you're an organization ordering, chances are you're going to be ordering more than that at a time. And so that means you're saving on all of these fees that you would have to pay, right? If you weren't a member. And so if you really look at how much you're purchasing throughout the year, and you look at how much you would be spending on shipping and so forth. So if you take that with some basic assumptions, you take the value of getting those Square invoices, or our Zoom offer, which is 40% off of one of their packages. Or we have another offer with an organization that helps with compliance. You're a small organization, you want to make sure you're compliant along a number of dimensions. This is one of these areas that we've been talking to various organizations that people don't necessarily invest the time and energy necessarily, but these are things that you don't want to come and hurt you as a lawyer. Like, you don't want these things to come and hurt you from a compliance standpoint. And so, we help with that. It's a free offering if you're a member. And so if you add up the value of all of these things with some assumptions around your spend, the $98 doesn't feel so cumbersome, right? Because you're getting more than that in value. And then I'll call out a couple other ones that are near and dear to me, right? I like to connect with people. I like to connect with the communities that we serve. And so we have a number of events that we'll run ourselves, right? We did one in Orlando recently, but we also work with different partner organizations. Right now, we're partnered with various chambers of commerce, national and regional. And so, for example, if we were to, and we also work with another group internally, our constituent relations group, which has a lot of relationships in a lot of different communities. And so we'll show up at events, and maybe we'll have a VIP sort of event beforehand, or exclusive sort of opportunity to network with, Walmart executives, right? So to the earlier question about procurement, you have an opportunity to ask real questions. It doesn't give you preferred access to things necessarily, but it means that you can connect directly with folks internally and ask questions and network with each other. And so there's opportunities to get access to events if you happen to be in a city where we're doing something, right? And so that's one of the things that we're providing to members. And then finally, we have a invite only community, which is in a private group on Facebook right now. And so if you're a paid member, you'll get an invite to join this community, and that allows for a number of things. And then this will just take a minute, where you're you're a law firm, right? And you want to say, hey, I have a law firm, and, let other organizations know. It's an opportunity to talk about your organization, which is effectively marketing your organization. You can ask questions of your peers, which you don't always want to hear from Walmart. Like, we just want to facilitate you talking to each other. And so we create a forum for that. We pepper in content and information that's relevant. You'll see, and I don't want to give everything away, but you'll see some exciting content, video content, from, inspirational and motivational content within that community, just to give you that pick me up, or, give you some information or insight around something that you may be facing and may be relevant to you. So we'll spotlight organizations, we'll give you information, you can connect with your peer organizations, and you can talk about your own. So that's another benefit of being a member, which a little bit harder to quantify the value of that. I would say it's invaluable. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard you correctly. The partnering up with chambers across the United States, potentially partnering up with the Midlands African Chamber to put on an event. That could be part of that benefit of joining. And then more importantly, bringing in the VIPs of the VPs of Walmart. So you have the face-to-face, because we all know business is about relationships. And it starts off relationship. And it's also a matter of getting the understanding of how to build that relationship. And it's helpful if you have the firsthand knowledge, as opposed to trying to pick up the pieces on your own.
Exactly. We did one with the one I can just think of off the top of my head. We did the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce National Conference in D.C. back in July, and I was there. We had one of our executive vice presidents showed up and was one of the keynote speakers. And so, if you were there, you got to just kind of interface, directly, and ask those questions. So that those are valuable opportunities to network.
Okay. Now I know we're getting a little short on time, but I want to bring this back onto the forefront of what we're talking about when it comes to the business, the Walmart business. And again, this is business.walmart.com.
That is it. Okay.
And so we talked about this earlier, but you have different departments on the top, and we can just scroll through, particularly professional, facility, janitorial. And if I went to janitorial, these are things of matter of I'm buying from Walmart business for this. It's not necessarily the service.
Correct.
Okay. Correct. Then I can flip over the services.
Yep. And then if you want to, you can go to assembly and installation. And you can see that there's building maintenance and care, right?
Yep. I'm going to click on
just to go along that same theme. And if you scroll down, you will see that here, those are services where, these are things to help clean, fix, break room, bathrooms within your office, and so forth. And so there's different, there's different services. There's service providers all across the country. And this is something that you can access for free on our site. Well, you have to pay for the services, but you can see and how it's organized, and it's easy. It's organized in a way that is user friendly.
Okay. Now, if we had so for instance, if I were in the janitorial business and I said, oh man, I can provide some of those services, how would I then be able to offer my services as a part of Walmart business if I want to do B2B?
Right. So in this case, so that one would be, so I talked about sort of the limited time offer center. In that particular case, that probably wouldn't be the best. It depends on what it is. I don't want to rule it out, but okay. I would say that if it's a more regionally focused service and you're a service provider, you can see our partner here is Angie, right? Yep. Part of the umbrella company is Handy, I believe. Well, it used to be Handy, now it's Angie. So they're one organization, but basically it's a network of service providers, contracted service providers that's part of Angie. And so we would basically redirect you, and you could become a part of that network. And in so doing, if someone were in your area and they clicked on one of these services, you could then be a part of that network.
So again, it's the partnership is through Angie, but you would need a partner through Angie in order to then get exposed to being a contractor fulfillment for Walmart business.
Correct. And it would be through that. And then the other avenue is if you said, I want to provide services to Walmart stores, that is a completely separate process. And like I said, you wouldn't join Walmart business and then we say you can now get an easier path to becoming one. I don't make that decision. We don't make that decision, but we will provide, content that says, hey, are you interested in being a partner, or are you interested in being a provider? Here's some information on how you do that as an organization in your community for the store, near your business, right? And so what you just pulled up here is the first step in the sign up process. And so you provide your email, when you click to the next step, you're going to find that this is about you. And then the next one is about your organization. And so that's where you'll have to put in, some form of tax ID number.
And that's just for the free.
That's for the free. And the whole point, again, is it's verifying that, imagine there are people who have already created email or accounts on Walmart.com, right? So you put in an email and that's it. There's no other step. Whereas here, the services we provide are for organizations. So we owe it to, we have a responsibility to the partners that we have, whether it's, Angie or, like I gave you the example with the invoices. Those services are for organizations, right? They want organizations to get those services. So we have a responsibility to make sure that our customer base are actually organizations. And that's the only way to verify that.
Absolutely. And so, but through this, then you are able to then sign into getting pay the $98.
Right. So you can start off with a free account and then make a decision later that you want to pay for membership. So if you were to scroll down, we don't have to do that. But basically if you have a free account, you can pay for a membership later is the point. Okay. Right. Or you can do that directly, but you have the opportunity of just trying the program out. No risk to you.
And for those that don't remember how to get to your learning hub, you can also scroll down to the bottom to go directly to those learning hubs.
Correct.
Which is business.walmart.com /learn more.
Yep.
Perfect. We are just about out of time. So any last remarks?
We have an app for that. So go get that.
You heard it here, folks. Look, businesswalmart.com. If you're looking to save money, you're looking to save time, you're looking to save hassle, this is your destination. We all know $98 is not a lot of money, especially for the value that you can get as a result of it. And more importantly, there's also not only that value you can get before the $98, there's also the value you can get by the Learning Hub. And as you know, and time again, we're on Power Hour. We're always about self-knowledge, research, knowing how to run your business to grow and scale, because it takes all of us. And so without any further ado, I would like to thank Daryk Pengelly for being our first guest speaker of 2024 as we hit this out of the park. Daryk, I look forward to seeing you on the ones and twos, my friend. I look forward to seeing you in Omaha. For those of you who are in this neck of the woods in Nebraska, stay safe out there, stay warm. I know the roads are bad, but we are back again. And to Walmart Business, we thank you.
Thank you. Take care.